For this recipe, we will start by making a frittata. You will need 8 eggs, a half cup of milk, 1 red bell pepper, 1 small onion, and 1 cup of frozen spinach. Make sure to look for cut leaf spinach, as this is easier to work with. Start by dicing your onion. Once your onion is diced, you can preheat a large skillet over medium-high heat. Add 1 tablespoon of oil to the pan. Once the oil is hot, you can add the onions to the pan and saute them while you work on cutting your bell pepper. Be sure to stir this occasionally. While your onions are sauteing, you can dice your bell pepper. As you are dicing your bell pepper, you can add that straight to the skillet with the onions. Cook the onions and peppers until they are soft and beginning to brown. These vegetables will release a lot of moisture as they cook. The goal here is to cook off as much liquid as possible so that it does not end up in the eggs. As the onions and peppers are cooking, you can add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and black pepper to taste. As the vegetables are cooking, you can go ahead and crack your eggs. Crack the 8 eggs into a medium-sized bowl. Once the vegetables are nice and soft and beginning to brown, add your spinach. It's okay if the spinach is still frozen. The goal here is to cook all of that excess moisture out of the spinach. You can also use fresh spinach here. If you use fresh, you're going to want to use about 3 cups of spinach. As that's cooking, you can go ahead and whisk your eggs. While you're whisking the eggs, you can also add the 1/2 cup of milk. As you can see here, we've cooked down the vegetables enough that there's no more liquid pooling at the bottom of the pan. If your pan has a lot of liquid in it, continue to cook it until that all evaporates. To bake the frittata, prepare an 8x12 baking dish by spraying it with cooking oil. You want to use a decent amount of oil here because you don't want the eggs to stick to the pan. Add your vegetables to the bottom of the pan in an even layer. Then you can pour the eggs over the vegetables. Give this a quick stir just to make sure that everything is in an even layer. Once everything looks good, we'll put this in an oven at 350 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. When the eggs are done cooking, they should be fully set in the middle. A knife inserted to the middle of the pan should come out clean. Allow the eggs to cool slightly before moving on to the next step. To assemble the sandwiches, you will want some kind of whole wheat or whole grain bread. Here I'm using whole wheat sandwich thins, but whole wheat rolls would also work very well here. You can add a slice of your favorite type of cheese, and then once the eggs are slightly cool, go ahead and cut them into 6 evenly sized squares. Use a small spatula to make sure that the eggs are not sticking to the side of the pan. Once your frittata is cut, you can go ahead and assemble your sandwiches. You can either eat these right away, or if you would like to save them for later, you can wrap them in tinfoil and freeze them. To reheat the sandwiches, you can either remove them from the tinfoil and microwave them for 30 seconds at a time until they are heated through, or you can bake the sandwiches in an oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Once you are done, you have a delicious breakfast sandwich that is filled with veggies. Thanks for joining us for the SBH Teaching Kitchen's online cooking series. This has been the recipe for Make Ahead breakfast sandwiches, and we'll see you again for the next one.